Welcome to the mandatory radio broadcast. We are and always will be your host on this guide on how to stay alive. Welcome back, old listeners, and to new listeners, welcome to the world. Hello to all you men, women, and others out there, and as always, do not go outside. On today's broadcast, we tell you the latest tips and tricks to helping your colony survive, as well as looking into other survivors' lives to see how they are dealing with dwindling food reserves and existential dread. Let's start off with question time! Welcome to question time. As always, on last week's mandatory radio broadcast, we asked you a question and got a random survivor to answer. Last week's question was, what do these tones indicate? We asked bunker number 24 for the answer. Let's see if they got it right. Unfortunately, bunker number 24, that was the wrong answer and you will die in 2 to 3 business days. This tone is actually played whenever we say to not go outside. And whenever this tone plays, survivors should be reminded to not go outside. Moving on, this week's question time question is, where should you not go? We will now move on to this week's health segment. How are you today? If your answer is that you are feeling bad, try not doing that. This concludes the health segment. Oh yeah, and also, if you find mushrooms growing in your walls, do not eat them. They may look good and they may taste good, but they will give you cancer, so unless you want that, do not eat them. We now move on to the weather segment. The weather is bad. It's always bad all the time. It's the apocalypse. What do people expect? I don't even know why this segment was added. It isn't going to get any better outside. Now I think it's time for the guest section of the broadcast. Today we have with us someone from bunker number 12. Please introduce yourself, bunker number 12.
Hello, my name is man number 1. Hello, can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, hello.
Back away, please.
Oh, sorry.
How are you doing today?
Bad.
It's pretty normal to be bad these days. I'm sure the listeners are wondering, why are you called man number 1? Is there a man number 2?
Well, actually, I used to be man number 2, but then I strangled man number 1 to death and ate him to gain his courage.
Ah, well, that solves that. I understand you also have a garden. Have you got any tips and tricks on how to do anything with that?
Yeah, well, we have a traditional garden, but over time it's grown too powerful, and lately I've been keeping a lighter underneath my pillow to keep it at bay.
Ah. Have you at least got any fruit or veg out of it?
It does give us fruit sometimes, but usually we have to sacrifice a bit of blood for it.
How much?
Depends on what you want, really. I gave it one of my toes once and it brought me a pig's head.
Oh. Well, I guess everything has its price. Any tips for new garden owners?
Don't show fear in front of your plants. You always have to be the alpha.
Are you the alpha?
Well, not exactly, but we have something worked out.
Oh. Moving on, how do you usually spend your time in your bunker?
Well, when I ate the previous man number 1, I gained his wife as a trophy, so sometimes we imagine being anywhere else together. We imagine being in a nice warm field, or in one of those places where you get to eat the food without being afraid for your life.
Oh. I meant like, what do you physically do?
Cry, mostly.
Anything else?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay. Moving on, do you have any tips for new listeners out there?
Not really. Brush your teeth.
Helpful.
You asked.
Yeah, well. Before you go, we'll give you a chance to contact anyone alive. You could contact the army and ask for help with your plant problem, or you could contact someone to ask for more food, or...
I'll contact my mum.
Really? You can contact anyone, and you choose your mum.
Yeah, why not?
Okay then, here you go.
Guess she isn't home, oh well.
Want to call anyone else? Anyone who could actually help you with the many problems you seem to be having?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, well, I guess good luck to you and goodbye.
Oh, before I go, on your health segment, you told us that we should feel better if we felt bad. But my wife was having problems and I told her to just feel better. But instead of doing that, she started screaming and crying and then she created a smaller version of me. Should I be worried?
What does this smaller version of you do?
Well, I asked it a couple of questions, but it refused to talk to me, so I locked it in a separate room. My theory is that it's me from the future, and it's come back in time to kill me to prevent a tragedy.
Interesting theory. However, it is more likely that you've angered some godly entity and as revenge it has sent a smaller version of yourself that has come to replace you.
Oh, okay. Got any tips?
No, but good luck though. Unfortunately, man number 1 has to go sort out this tiny imposter, so he has to go now.
Wait,
we will take this moment and have an ad break.
Would you
please either
mind
enjoy
answering my
these
questions,
ads
please? Wait,
or take the
stop
time
it.
to
Will you please
reflect
answer my
heavily on
fucking
your
question?
sins.
I have
We
some
will
more